Straight ahead on CCX News, a Plymouth entrepreneur who has tapped into Indian fashion that's in demand.
Anytime you can wear an Indian outfit for an Indian occasion, people deck up.
Plus, we dig into the construction industry where we find a shortage of workers.
Right now, the labor market is very tight, and we're looking for more.
But first, Robbinsdale police investigate a shooting along a busy highway. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. One man is hurt after a drive-by shooting in Robbinsdale.
The shooting happened Friday night around 10 on Highway 100 near 42nd Avenue. CCX News reporter Sonia Goins has more on the investigation.
At this point, the victim is not aware of who this person may be.
Highway 100 is a well-traveled road, but Robbinsdale police say that didn't stop someone from using a semi-automatic handgun to unleash a flurry of gunfire.
We believe at least a dozen shots were fired.
Chief Jim Franson says the shooting victim told police he was driving southbound on Highway 100 near 42nd Avenue when another vehicle pulled up alongside and opened fire.
You can see the one of the windows shot out.
The victim was hit in the shoulder, but luckily his front seat passenger was not hurt.
These are all bullet holes there.
The victim somehow managed to drive himself to North Memorial Hospital.
This is a vehicle up at North Memorial, so you can see some bullet holes here.
Meanwhile, police shut down Highway 100 Friday night between 42nd and 36th Avenues so they could gather information.
We don't have any indication that this was related to any type of a road rage incident or driving conduct incident.
Right now, officials are still trying to determine whether this was a random shooting. Police have very little to go on. The shooting victim says he doesn't remember much. He says everything happened so fast. So police are really relying on the public's help. If you have any information, give them a call. In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The shooting victim was treated at North Memorial and then released. And as Sonia said, if you have any information, you are asked to call Robbinsdale Police.
New Hennepin County crime numbers show an increase in violent crime, but a drop in homicides. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office says violent crime, including homicide, rape, and robbery, climbed 3% in 2016. The biggest contributing factor is an increase in business robberies, which jumped 22% last year. Homicide, however, actually dropped 26% compared to 2015. There was no change when it comes to property crimes like burglary and theft, except for one category. Motor vehicle theft jumped 19% last year.
Flyers are going out to Maple Grove neighborhoods alerting residents about a destructive tree insect that has made its way to the city. Maple Grove has detected the presence of the emerald ash borer in at least 20 ash trees in a neighborhood north of Rice Lake. The bug is often spread by firewood brought in from affected areas. While it's very rare to actually see the green bug, you can see the quarter-inch D-shaped holes it leaves behind. Thinning at the top of an ash tree is another indicator. The city is now trying to come up with an action plan, including whether to treat trees, remove them, or a combination of both.
The good news is we have some pretty good chemical treatments out there right now that you're able to treat your trees to prevent and slow the spread of this disease. So if you don't have to have this bug in your tree to start treating your tree.
There is a long-term financial commitment to treating ash trees. It must be done annually or every 2 years. And for more information on the emerald ash borer, you can visit the Minnesota Department of Agriculture website. It's no secret during the recession, construction was hit the hardest in Minnesota with nearly 38,000 jobs lost.
But that was then. Today, the construction industry is one of the fastest growing sectors in the state. In this week's Business Matters report, as building rises, there's a real concern, though, about finding enough workers to fill the jobs. The skilled carpentry work underway at this new home in Plymouth is key to finishing the job. This project is one of about 30 that subcontractor Schweeters Companies is doing in the metro, though they could be doing even more work if they could fill their 24 job openings.
Right now, the labor market is very tight, and we're looking for more. I mean, skilled labor is hard to come by nowadays.
Since the height of the recession, job vacancies in construction have climbed from 710 in 2009 to 6,700 last year, according to Minnesota's Department of Employment and Economic Development.
They're still in building back up mode. Now they're also being hit with a lot of retirements.
Traditionally dominated by white males, the construction field is one of Minnesota's least diverse industries. In a recent state report, labor market analyst Orion Casal makes the case the construction industry will have to hire more women and minorities, or else it will suffer from serious worker shortages.
There's very little population growth in the white population in this state right now. A lot of that population are baby boomers. They're aging out of the labor force, and the young folks tend to be a much more diverse crew.
One of the challenges for this subcontracting company is they need trained carpenters.
They're skilled labor. It's a craft, and you really have to have those people that have done it before and that are good at what they're doing.
While his company offers a training program, General Manager Jason Jones says long-term, construction must attract and encourage younger generations.
I think it's important that more and more people get into the trades, get into the industry and construction, because it's not going away.
Minnesota's population of people of color grew by almost 28,000 between the years of 2013 and 2014.
A first-of-its-kind facility in Minnesota to offer comfort to gravely ill children is planned to open in Brooklyn Center. A Minneapolis nonprofit called Crescent Cove has agreed to purchase a large home on Twin Lakes that used to provide hospice care for adults. The plan is to turn it into the state's first independent hospice center for youth. The new center would accommodate up to 6 patients in need of around-the-clock care. It would also provide a suite to house family and friends.
It won't replace what already happens in the hospital. It's not a place where children would come for treatments or surgeries or anything like that, but for a short break, for respite, so families who are practically running an ICU in their living rooms can have a little bit of a break, get a good night's sleep, maybe tend to other things that they need to with their other children and family and friends.
Crescent Cove has been looking for a home like this for 7 years. There are only 2 facilities like it in the entire country, one in Phoenix, the other outside of San Francisco. The goal is to have it ready to open in the fall of 2017.
A busy Golden Valley intersection could soon be getting a nearly $2 million makeover.
We're going to see actually about 300 new housing units going in here. So one of the things we need to do is improve the functionality of the infrastructure in this area.
With the new Hello apartment complex set to open in June and more senior housing on the way, the city wants to make a number of improvements near Highway 55 and Decatur Avenue. The proposals include reducing the speed of cars coming off the highway, adding sidewalks, and burying overhead power lines to make the area more aesthetically pleasing.
We think having a safer area and some amenities for pedestrians will make this an even more attractive area for people to live.
The City Council will discuss the issue during Tuesday night's meeting. A public hearing is scheduled for March 7th at City Hall.
A Plymouth park with a prime location will get a major makeover in the near future.
We would transition into more of a picnic shelter and pavilion, so you can see that there's tables and chairs.
East Medicine Lake Park hasn't seen much updating since it was built in the 1980s. The biggest proposed change involves replacing an old beach house with a pavilion that would include space for people that people could rent for parties. It's a big project that could make it more of a destination park.
I think it's going to have a feel of being more of a place, a destination that you want to go. You might want to hop onto the regional trail. You may want to just go and relax by the lake and enjoy the sun, play at the park, or have a picnic under the new pavilion.
And the city has budgeted $500,000 for that pavilion and an additional $400,000 for the playground update. Residents are invited to offer their input at an open house Thursday evening at Plymouth City Hall. Still ahead, a demand for Indian fashion and a Plymouth woman who has answered the call.
And then later in sports, a wrestling rivalry as Cooper and Armstrong hit the mat.
But first, a potentially tricky commute on Tuesday with freezing rain possible overnight and slushy snow in the morning. Successful entrepreneurs can identify a need in a community and then figure out a way to meet it.
One Plymouth woman did just that by creating a website and store where people can buy the latest in Indian fashion. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains.
Religious holidays are a time when people gather.
It's called Saraswati Puja. It's the goddess of education, knowledge, music. So it's like we're seeking her blessing to do better in our lives.
And no matter the faith, religious holidays are also a time when people dress their best.
We're here for a religious event. So yeah, this is when we actually get time to like deck up, show off what we have, because you're not wearing this to work on a daily basis.
Neela Chakraborty says her community struggles to find quality Indian clothing for festivals and weddings, and she's not alone in that thought.
Because even though we want things from India and it's not always accessible from here to all the way to 12,000 miles away.
But Neela wanted to change that. A year ago, she founded shopbollywear.com that she runs out of her Plymouth home.
I'm picking out the clothes that I feel that I would wear, that my customers would wear. So it's not just some random outfit I chose. It's like, oh, would I wear this? Then yeah, I'm sure my customer would wear this.
Neela is inspired by the glamour of Bollywood, and her website is different from competitors because she offers not just women's clothing and jewelry, but clothing for men and children too.
And the best part is that she has a lot of variety, and that's what I love it, and quality is very good.
The demand picks up in the summer months as people prepare for fall festivals.
And these festivals in certain parts of the United States go for a week. So some women need 4 to 5 outfits because you can't repeat yourself.
Neela has an eye for beauty, and she knows her clientele.
Anytime you can wear an Indian outfit for an Indian occasion, people deck up.
And she has found an easier way to make that beauty accessible to all.
All of these artwork that's happening, and what I sometimes call it hidden secrets, and this is one of those hidden secrets that needs to come out.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
Coming up, a way for Crystal residents to honor a really good neighbor.
But first, Armstrong-Cooper skates for a conference title in boys hockey. John Jacobson has that and more next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Northwest Suburban Conference is split into 2 divisions in boys hockey. While the North is the stronger division, Armstrong-Cooper had a chance to wrap up the West title Saturday as they face Champlin Park. It's a great game. Second period, 1-0 Rebels. Edward Kirchhoff redirects the point shot in for a Wings power play goal. Less than 2 minutes later, A.J. Jacobson, nice move around the goalie, tucks it in to give AC the lead. Late in the second period, the Rebels tie it. Keegan Bauman, nice pass. Derek Roberts finishes, and it's 2-all. The third period is wild. Brady Swanstrom scores a power play goal, giving the Rebels a 3-2 lead. The Wings crash the net. Drew Ide chips the rebound in, leveling the score with just over 3 minutes to play. And with under a minute to play, Armstrong-Cooper on the rush. The puck kicks over to Jonah Jangula. The sophomore buries the winning goal. Armstrong-Cooper seals the West Division title with a 4-3 win.
It was really intense, but you know, all the guys were being confident in one another. We're all supporting each other, so we felt pretty good about this game. You know, it's good to come out with a win by working hard. You know, we knew that we weren't just going to get it handed to us. We knew that everyone had to play good, and Marshy played good, everyone played good, and we got the win, so that's all that mattered. We're really happy.
Totino-Grace came into Saturday 1 point behind the Wings, and we're hoping to get a win and maybe a piece of the conference title. The Eagles were unbeaten in their last 7 games coming into their contest against Irondale, but they turn it over here and it proves costly. Jack Board and Nick Ellingson for the quick shot and goal, and the Knights are up 1-0. Still in the first period, a nice breakout pass. Daniel Foley to Moore. He'll go in alone and score. And Irondale adds one more in the period, and they lead Totino-Grace 3-0 after 1. Grace will get one back in the second period. Dan Forboard with the initial shot. And it's number 8, Forboard, who knocks the loose puck in finally for the goal. Grace is on the board. It's 3-1. but Irondale answers a few minutes later. Ryan Souls with a shot from a sharp angle, deflects off the defenseman, sticking in, and it's 4-1 Knights. Dylan Dubuque scores the final goal of the game for Grace with a nice move in the third period. Not enough, though, for Totino. They lose it to Irondale 4-2. In wrestling, the two Robbinsdale District schools hit the mat to renew their rivalry at the Robbinsdale Rumble. Cooper visiting Armstrong for this one. At 120 pounds, a wild one as Gunnar Johansson of Armstrong builds a lead. Then is nearly pinned by Raul Ramirez before Johansson gets a reversal late, and he wins it 7-5. At 138, Terrell Barnes of Cooper gets the only pin of the night for the Hawks. He puts down Damon Barley and pulls Cooper to within 12-9. But it's Armstrong's night. Great overtime battle at 2:20. Ben Unger pins DeAndre Porter with seconds left in the third OT. Armstrong wins 39-21, their fifth straight win over Cooper. In boys basketball, Cooper has now won 5 of its past 6 games. The Hawks were hosting St. Louis Park late in the first half. Nathan Hill, quick drive to the basket for the Hawks. He scores a dozen points. Joey Whitlock with a long three-pointer at the buzzer for the Orioles, and they lead 28-27 at halftime. Jaquan Massey with a steal for Cooper. He'll take it for a two-handed dunk, and the Hawks take the lead here in the second half. Bijan Newbern with a three from the top of the key. He scores a game-high 24 points. St. Louis Park rallies. Whitlock from long distance again. His team up 50-49. But Cooper responds. Jalen Justice, a great pass to Ante Burns for the hoop and foul. He scores 14 points. Cooper wins 64-54. They're in third place in the Metro West. And Mike and Alex tonight, Monday live, 7 o'clock on CCX. Champlin Park at Maple Grove boys basketball, number 1 versus number 2 in the state.
All right, thanks a lot, John. We'll be right back.
Look, new neighbors.
Wow.
What do we got?
Is that a fraternity?
Well, hopefully you have neighbors who are just the opposite of those found in the Seth Rogen, Zac Efron movies. The city of Crystal is trying something new with neighbors recognizing neighbors.
That's a great way to recognize a good neighbor. You can nominate a neighbor on the City of Crystal website. The deadline is February 27th. The top nominees will be recognized at the Crystal Masquerade Ball on March 18th. And that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We leave you with the sights and sounds of this year's Fire and Ice Festival in Plymouth. Enjoy.
There we go. That back there is looking good. Nice. I love it. A little faster.